Everest is to the right, Choyu is to the left.
We did an acclimatization hike up a local peak with the team. It was hard to take it slow, but doing so made the climb easy.
All right, so you see these pickup trucks here? They carry all of our gear to base camp.
The drive from Tingri heads back towards Shigatse, but then takes a turn south at the entrance to the Mount Everest National Park. It continues through the town of Chietsun before heading up the nauseating switchbacks of the Golula Pass. The top of the pass, at 5,198 meters, offers one of the best views of the Himalayas. Coming down from Golula Pass, you reach Jiaxi Zongcun, where we picked up last-minute Oreos. Another couple of hours and we pulled up to the new Rongbuk Monastery. And permit check. You'll likely have to do a handful of these as you travel through Tibet. After a relatively minimal amount of grief, we were let through. Finally, we arrived at Chinese base camp. The sun dipped behind the mountains and I headed to my tent. I had wanted to wait for the sunbeams to get up, but the whipping of the prayer flags against my tent that fellow climber Martin had put up the night before urged me out. After taking care of the morning business, we headed into our black Tibetan tea house themed tent and warmed up with tea while the kitchen boys, as they're called, Nobu and Tashi, brought in breakfast. The Sherpas sorted gear, we sorted gear. The goal was to get everything ready for moving up the mountain. While the yaks would be constantly traveling between the camps, this first big movement of equipment is when you want to organize everything you will need for higher up. The better you can plan for what you need at successive camps, the less shuffling of gear and carrying you will have to do later on. Staring at the peak, you squint your eyes to find Camp 3, the exit cracks, and the 3 steps. Large cliffs that are known as the crux of the North Ridge route. The next morning, Team Yak and its herdsmen had arrived. Each yak cost $350 to carry gear to advance base camp. This was the time to earn their keep. Yaks weigh the same amount as 2 grand pianos. They can survive winters at high altitudes where the temperatures can get down to negative 40 degrees. And lucky for us, they can carry heavy loads at high altitudes. The whole summit climb team decided to make it a group effort, and we all left camp together. The trail was steep out of the gate, passed by a valley of prayer flags. Got higher up, the rocks became less and less stable. We got back to our tent just in time for our own dinner. Zhangbu lit the heater. Then Zhangbu, in full smile, surprised us with maybe the highest apple pie in the world. While we were all enjoying the comforts of base camp, we knew they wouldn't last. Tomorrow, we would move up the mountain. Our team left Chinese base camp in a couple of small clumps, everybody having their own pace and or people they felt they could enjoy the next 4 to 7 hours with. The Northeast Ridge Route is the most popular route for those wanting to climb Everest from the Tibetan side. The trail starts at Chinese base camp and meanders at a slight grade along the north side of the Rongbuk Glacier for approximately 5 kilometers, until you reach the confluence of the Rongbuk East Glacier. There, the trail gets much steeper as it follows the west side of the Rongbuk East Glacier another 5 kilometers to intermediate base camp. Most teams spend a night here. Then, the next day, you have some very steep up and downs as the trail, the Miracle Highway, provides you safe passage through an otherwise impassable glacier. After 11 kilometers, you reach advanced base camp. There, the Yak Brigades stop. Our climb was just starting. Remnants of the receding Rongbuk Glacier are all around you. To the right, there is an enormous glacial lake, and to the left, several massive boulders precariously perched on debris spires. Another highlight, and one of the main reasons to climb Everest from the north side, are the stunning views. You can't help but rejoice in the moment. Another hour up a steep grade, and we all took a break at what became known fondly by our team as Lunchtime Corner. As we continued up the East Rongbuk Glacier, we were joined by Tibetan blue sheep. Not as blue as I had imagined, but more friendly than I could have ever expected. We all chugged along, and before we knew it, we caught up to the yaks that had left earlier that morning. The yaks were very shy. We learned that unless you wanted a staring contest, it's best to move off the trail to let them by. We rolled into intermediate base camp, and it was clear that the yaks ran this spot. They ate where they wanted, pooped where they wanted, and ran through tent lines if they wanted.
Tent!
The trail from IBC to ABC is known as the Miracle Highway. Since its discovery in 1921, expeditions from Tibet have been using this route to access Everest. The miracle of this trail is a result of the Rongbuk Glacier and the Changxi Glacier pushing massive amounts of earth together as they collide. The glaciers move downhill, and the scraped earth has moved with them, creating a large, undulating berm in the middle of the two glaciers called a moraine. It provides a hilly, safe, and relatively quick passage up to advanced base camp. Without this miracle moraine, advancing on Everest from this valley may have never been an option, as crossing through the maze of ice pyramids would be treacherous and time-consuming. The adrenaline I had when reaching ABC wore off. The next morning, feeling better, we got up and explored ABC.
Tough breathing.
Advanced Base Camp is a sprawl approximately a kilometer long, scrunched up between the northeast face of Changxi and the East Rongbuk Glacier. As this is the last camp that the yaks can travel to, all Everest expeditions on the Tibet side funnel through here.